Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of Digital System Design using Verilog. In previous session we have discussed about the basics of Verilog. In that we have seen various parameters, and the last topic we discussed was about the precedence of operators. We have also seen that unary operators have highest precedence. That means if in a single line there are various operators, then which one should get priority? In that case, unary operators will get priority. Then after that, next priority will be given to the binary operators, and the lowest priority will be given to ternary operators, where we have seen one condition of if else. Today we'll discuss about Verilog data types. What are the data types and how we will deal with them. Like in every programming language, there are various data types. Which type of data we can process, how to process that. So basically there are two types. One is net and another one is variable. So what is the function of data type? They represent the data storage element. Like we know flip-flop. What is function of flip-flop? It stores the value. Which values? Digital values. Ones or zeros. So these values are stored in memory. For example, we are using flip-flops for the storage. What are the nets? The basic type of net is a wire. Wires are not directly memory storage devices, but they pass value of particular section to another section. Then these values of ones and zeros are from the electrical parameters. What are electrical parameters? We use some supply voltage. Say if we are using a voltage between 0 to 3 volt, that means supply voltage can change between 0 to 3 volt. The values near 0 will have logic 0. Value around 3 volt will have logic 1. Along with that, there will be unknown or don't care condition defined by X, or there may be high impedance condition defined by small or capital Z. So there are two types of data types, nets and variables. Variables are again further may have various types like integer, time, real and Verilog strings. So almost all the data types will deal with these four parameters. All the data types will handle either 0, 1, any unknown X or high impedance Z value. But real and event data type will not use only these four. That we will discuss in programming whenever it comes. Then nets. The most common example of net is wire. It is intermediate stage between different parts or different gates. Like we can see here, this is a snapshot of a design from Verilog output. We have one AND gate and there is one flip-flop. And all the wires connecting various sections are defined by net followed by that net number. So nets and wires we can alternately use. So these are also data types. Wires can be used as vectors. There may be multiple wires used in a form of vector. Like we can see here in this syntax, we have wire 3 down 0. That means there are total 4 lines of wires. Along with wires, we use some tri-states. What is difference between wire and tri? Both of them represent signal lines. Wire is also a signal line which carries the electrical signal. It may be 1 or 0. Tri is also a signal line. So what is the difference? In wire, only one output is connected to a wire, and that particular output will only drive it. But in tri, it can be driven by more than one signal. like try state, there may be 3 states. Now, when we deal with net type data types, we can use wires or tries. So these tries and wires can be used with say AND or OR gate. So WOR wire or wire AND. Similarly, there will be try 0, try register, supply 1 for VDD, supply 0 for VSS. Now how they work we will see in their table. For example, we have wire slash try. This line representing wire, vertical line for try. So if wire on wire there is 0 value and this one is also 0, it will give 0. If wire is having 1 but this try line is having 0, then there will be unknown condition. If we get x here and 0 here, it will become x. For this z and this 0, it will become 0. Now let us check for and or. Suppose this is say WAND, wire and try AND. It will implement AND logic. How? Say this is 0, this is 0. The output of AND becomes 1 only if both the inputs are 1. If any input is 0, output will be 0. So in this case 0 0 will become 0 or 1 0 will become 0. X 0 will become 0. Z 0 will become 0. Then next for this 1, 0 1 0, 1 1 1. In this case we will get 1 because both of them are 1. This one is also 1 and this one is also 1. So x1 1, product of 1 will give same value. Z1 1. So like this we can have various table parameters here. For this OR, WOR and try OR. In ON, if any one is 1, the signal value will give 1. So 0 0 0, 1 0 1, x 0 x, z 0 0. Like this we can find out the values of these 4 parameters. Now first one was about net. Now variables. Variables can use some registers for storing. Say we have flip-flop. In flip-flop we'll have one input and one clock signal and there will be output Q. We can use either 1-bit flip-flop or multiple bit flip-flop. If you want 4-bit flip-flop, we'll use 4 flip-flops. So if register is 3 down 0, that means there are 4 blocks for our input. This input may be some data in digital form 0, 1, 1, 0 or something like that. So a variable is an abstraction for a storage device where we can use register, time, integer, real time. So this memory is used for the storage. In memory, for example, if I am writing like this, register 15 down 0, memory 511 down 0. That means memory is having 512 locations and each location is of 16 bits. That means each register is having 16 bits. That particular register is part of this memory where there are total 512 locations. So integer is a 32-bit general purpose variable we can use for modeling. Integer is a keyword followed by the count of that particular integer. Time is also a keyword. It is 64-bit and we can use it to store simulation time quantities. So its syntax is time followed by say start time or end time. Similarly, we can use real time. Real is another keyword. We use a real variable which can store floating point quantity. So its syntax is real space float. Strings, like if we want some output as strings, say hello world. It is most common output string. So we can use strings also. They are also stored in the registers. And if the width of our register is lesser or smaller than the string, then what will happen? It will not give complete output. If my text is bigger, hello world, welcome to online session by Dr. Rana. And if the length of my register is not sufficient, then what it will do? It will delete the leftmost bits and the available storage register value will be displayed. Right. If the size is bigger, then left side will be added with zeros with complete message displayed on the signal. So whatever is our string, it must have proper storage element there. That much size of register must be available. Then time and delays. Time and delays are very important. Timing is very important in Verilog. So normally we use hash for giving some delays. So along with the delays defined in the program, there will also be circuit delays. Suppose if we talk about static timing analysis, in that we have to consider the circuit which is having various kind of delays. For example, we may have capacitive loading and delay due to wires, but we don't use the exact capacitor inside a particular IC. In IC, the capacitance will have some other form that we will discuss in some session. There will be a capacitive transition capacitive or any other type of capacitance which will also be created by silicon. So there will be capacitive loading delays. There may be propagation delay. When we are talking about millions of transistors in one IC, then moving one value from one part to another part will also involve some kind of propagation delay. Right. So these are also involved parameters in silicon. These are also delays. So apart from that, when we have to define a delay, so we will use hash. So if I write hash 1, that means it shows that there is delay of one time unit. Time unit we can give in the multiples of 1, 10 or hundreds. So we have to define the unit of delay either from seconds to femtoseconds, maybe nanosecond, microsecond, picoseconds, like that. If we have to add the precision, then we have to use time scale. Time scale is another keyword. If I write something like that, something like time scale followed by 1 nanosecond by 100 picosecond, that means the values will have nanosecond unit and it will be rounded to the nearest 100 picoseconds. So but if we don't declare the time scale, it will use the default time scale defined in the programming system. So here we can see a delays. Always is also one keyword we will see when we are dealing with the modeling styles. So here there may be some program, say A is defined as 1 bit binary which is having 0. It will start A at the 0 level. After that we are defining a delay of hash 5. That means there will be 5 unit delay for whatever value of A is there. So initially A is at 0. So from initial value 0 up to 5 units, the value will be 0. After that 5 unit delay, what is the instruction? Next instruction is telling that it should become 1. Then after 5 unit it will become 1. So how much time it should stay at that 1 level? That will be defined by the next delay or next instruction which will give the output. So these hashed we use to give delays to set the clock to the Q at the output part. In concurrent operation also we can give delay. Suppose we have some instruction and it is 1 unit instruction and we will get some output. So suppose A is there. So A is 0 at initial level, and then we are defining that there is 5 units of delay. Then from 0 to 5, this A line will give delay. Simultaneously, if there is some other operation going on for F, and we are defining delay of 7. Then from 0 to 7, this F will give delay. Suppose this is another example where we are considering the time diagram of half adder. In half adder, we'll have two inputs, say A and B, and we'll get some output in the form of sum and carry. So if we concentrate on sum, first part may be involved with propagation delay. Say we are giving the timestamps in 100, 200, like that. It may be say 100 nanoseconds. After 100 nanosecond, there is one group of this inputs, outputs, and after that again the delay is getting added. So what is the propagation delay? When I am giving A input and B input to perform the operation of sum, there will be some delay. So suppose A is 0, B is 1, output should be 1, but for circuit calculation there may be some delay which is associated with propagation delay. But once it is settled down, there may be another type of delay. It is considered as circuit hazard. Circuit hazard is happening here. For example, say if A is 1, B is 0, output should be 1, but in between suddenly the output is becoming 0. This is considered as hazard or glitch. Glitches, hazard, delays, all of them are unwanted if we are not defining it. So these glitches must be removed. So we can settle a time scale with hashtag. The time scale syntax is like this: time scale followed by time unit divided by precision base. So this is another example of time scale. We are having 1 nanosecond by 10 picosecond. So if I write hash 5 after this, then it will produce 5 nanosecond delay, and the rounding off will have the nearest picosecond value. Then for net and gate we may have delay. How we have this? We can have a syntax something like this: the wire hash to NN. When we write like this, it means NN is declaring the net values where propagation delay of 2 time step is there. And if we declare in bracket, say wire hash 2 comma 1 nm, then what does that mean? The positive 0 to 1 transition from 0 to 1 will have delay of 2 timestamps. And again, if there is transition from 1 to 0, there will be transition delay of 1 timestamp. Similarly, we can define delays for the gates and gate, and all of them are primitives, keywords. For tri-state buffer also we can define delay. So if this is the syntax, so there is delay, we are defining as 1 comma 2 comma 3. So delay for 0 to 1 transition for A0, these are the 3 states: A, O, AI, and C. So for delay of 1 to 0 transition, AO, then delay for the output, which can go from high impedance state as C, changes from 1 to 0. So we can define delays for all various parts. So we have 4 data values we can deal in the data types, and how we read the instructions. One more time we will see. First number, it is the decimal number which represents the size of bits. Now it represents there is 4 bit are defined here. Then the type, it is base format, binary. It can be decimal, octal or hexadecimal also. In this case it is binary. Then if underscore comes, that means we can ignore it. So again we will see the example of test bench So test bench we define as module, the name of module. Inputs are defined as registers. Outputs are defined as wire. We will have two initials. In first initial we will declare the waveform values. So I have A, B and C, three inputs. So I am saying 1. First number 1 is defining the number of bits. So this is 1 bit dash B naught. B naught means it is binary and the logic will be 0. So this second input B is equal to 1 bit binary, logic level 1. Similarly for C. So once we are done with this, we can give delay. Here we are defining that once we are giving input, there should be delay of 100 times steps, and after that the input should change to new values. Then we are giving one more 100 delay, and then we are saying $finish. It is a keyword. It will finish this delay. This is for the waveforms of input. And the next initial will define the output. At output waveforms, what we will get. So there will be A, B, C and D, all the inputs and outputs. So percentage B, percentage B, percentage B. That means all the inputs and outputs are binary. So like this we define the test bench. Next we have to discuss modeling styles. So there are total 3 main modeling styles, but we add the basic type also, so it becomes 4 modeling types. One is gate level, where we use the primitives, already predefined gates like AND gate, OR gate, keywords. Then there is data flow modeling, behavioral modeling and switch level modeling. In next session we will start with the modeling.